anything but a painful segment when we've got you three on screens, guys. It's always exciting, but of course paIN will be in the server, Vince, and it's going to be very fun to see which one of these two teams is locking it in today here at the Americas RMR. If there was a reason to get up bright and early, this game would be it for me, bud.
It is such a fun game on paper. Yes, 9Z have been a little bit shaky as of late. We've also seen paIN have their slips and slides, their ups and downs. So I do think, though, as they touched on with the desk, that there is definitely an advantage when it comes to the map veto here for paIN. They have pretty much every map they play, barring Ancient, which they just got rid of immediately. Interestingly enough, when we cast them yesterday, they played Ancient. So it's just very powerful veto for paIN. And you were just discussing before how 9Z have been struggling on Mirage as of late.
Yeah, man, it is the loss streak, Vince. That's what's scary about it, right? The sheer quantity of maps they've lost in a row on this one. Well, we'll see if it'll affect things here, if they're able to start the day off with a better result, and one that will get them into the groove of things. We'll dial in for now. First round is live. It's paIN Gaming over on the T side, and 9Z being your CTs. You got two sets of Julies to work with and a flashbang in the back pocket for big IGL Max, whereas for paIN, right now, they're setting themselves up for a play down through mid. Martinez, fires off the rattling shot spins. Lux opens it up with a Glock. Back at the bomb site, Buddha, can he deal damage?
Not just yet. Smoke in his eyes, but they have lost Lux, which is going to be a contingent for the flank that's been sent packing. DG team, the meanwhile, laying it down and denying this bomb plant for that a little bit longer. The T's can't quite manage to close the gap, but now Snow from the back is going to be trying to strike in, and it's down to the brains himself of Big Azera. Had a bit of a slow tournament and not picking up pace just now. Max with 2 alongside DGT, and 9Z claim the first round. It was looking a little bit scary for a few moments, though.
There was some opening shake, but they're able to reset things, keep it calm, and pick that one up. So pistol in the back pocket. It was this as well, the spam shots through the smoke. You're thinking that maybe one of them would connect. Instant snap back, put him down his grave. At least they get the ball rolling early. 9Z taking that pistol round. We're straight back into the second. Obviously, cash flow not going to be there for paIN. Big Guzera does opt to grab himself a deagle. Looks for an opening pick towards the back of B initially. No pain, no gain. But won't find anything for that one. Can instantly posture off. Shows a little bit of pressure. Plants a seed of doubt. We'll see if it starts to grow.
Not too much moisture in the air for the time being here over on Mirage, but paIN to try and spill some blood with those Glocks. They all move together through on the ramp side. Martinez up close with his MP9. Huazo Peak also can turn his attention over onto this side as soon as the first bullets get spit down towards the T's. But it's Big Azera. The one Glock they had in hand, and it has rattled the dome of Martinez. Still plenty of time on the clock as well. They don't have to fully commit behind this one. But that's leaving Huazo Peak in a bit of an awkward position. He's not sure if they're going to come through that smoke, so he's trying to watch 2 separate angles at once. paIN have caused a little bit of suffering early on, but it's unlikely they'll be able to build off the back of this one, Jack. He's still just that deagle in play. They haven't managed to pick up the MP9 as of yet.
Huazo Peak underneath the balcony. He's waiting for the run out. Catwells is able to get his hands on the MP9, clearing towards Sandwich as he runs on out. The flick back around is actually pretty meaty, and that gives them more stock into this one. Max trying to get a look into the back of the bomb site. Peppers some damage out, sets it up for potentially Buddha to make the big plays. Bold moves from Snow, re-aggresses onto CT, grabs another weapon, and they're in a good spot in the post plant. 2v2.
Oh, it's absolutely crazy they're even in this position in the first place. A deagle with 4 Glocks, executing with no utility. Huazo Peak had a nightmare. And with no kit between the two of them, they have to get on that bomb soon. paIN Gaming just playing the time. Playing possum. Now they have picked up the kick. Gonna go for the full defuse, but there it's Goaz. Sprays down DGT, and that should be the round on top of it. As Buddha's stuck between 2 awkward positions, goes in and falls to Snow's hand. paIN have snatched that round away with a deagle.
And now get ready for this. You know Snow is going to be going absolutely wild. And it'll be the sort of energy that they'll need to bring out into a game like this. We'll catch it on the replay, I'm sure. If not this time, it'll be all throughout the series. They get very excited, and it's always fun to watch. This is a round that would give you a fair bit of energy. Like you said, bud, you're going into that with hardly anything, right? Just the Deagle in the hands of Big Guzera. Cowes finds himself the MP9 and absolutely blessed with a weapon. Divine stuff. Pull it off in the 2v2. Here it is.
Man, I love it so much. It's actually so fun watching Snow.
Actually, you know what? It's just no fun watching the entire team of paIN. The whole camp goes off.
Yeah, NQZ's just as loud as Snow, if not more so. But it's great to see this young 17-year-old really capturing his dream, playing at the top levels of Counter-Strike. And again, this is a progression match. You qualify for the major if you win the series. He's potentially just an hour or two away from securing his spot at the Shanghai major. And what a horrible start, by the way, for 9Z. It doesn't really get much worse than that. You win the pistol, you then effectively have to deal with a Deagle and Glocks, you lose, and now your economy is straight up in the bin. They have got that first pick, but Quaz is quick to make the most of the flashed-up Buddha, who falls by himself. And now the bomb starting to transfer across towards this site. Going to be planting in amongst all of the smoke. A clean retake wouldn't be required here from 9Z if they're going to pick this one up, and they've decided they don't really want any part of it. They're going to save these weapons instead. Makes a lot of sense. So 2-1 to paIN, hot off the back of that tactical timeout so early on in our progression matchup.
It's a great draw as well. A matchup that should be pretty exciting based off previous results that we've seen between these two teams. In the head-to-head over the course of 2024, it's been 4 matchups that they played. paIN, they lead that in the total tally. 3-1 in the best of 3s that they played, winning the last 2 of them. Back at the dash-up, Belgrade event, Season 2. paIN took that as a 2-0, and IEM Cologne as well, winning that one 2-1 to eliminate 9Z from the event. So there's been some beef between these two teams, and it's why it should be quite explosive over the course of this BO3. For paIN, you come out swinging early, though. And it really was that big reset round, right? One Deagle in the hands of Big Guzera. MP9 makes a world of difference, and it's led us to this territory. 2-1 split, 9Z, still no cash to work with. You go for the scout pickup on Martinez. He can make some big moves. If you get some tags in with the 5-7s, there's room to convert with the scout, or vice versa. Pressure put on towards middle. Grouping up towards the A site as well. Cowes, AK, inside of the Palace, looking potentially for the peek out. Bit of a scout play towards mid. Buddha goes in for the first face, but falls down to Big Guzera. And Cowes, don't imagine he's the sort of man that's going to walk into DGT here. Uses the nades.
Oh, it's not going to save him though. The 5-7 up close removes him as a potential threat. 3-play-3. AK also trades hands. Quaz's AK now moves across towards 9Z. As Big Guzera making moves onto the B site. They spotted a lot of confrontation over on A. They've made the right decision, but they still need to get the cross. And the scout's going to weaken them up. Easy pickings for DGT. Lux goes into his shallow grave, and with 45 seconds left, Big Guzera and Snow, they can't just barrage their way onto the site. There will be a post plant coming in. This is where the lack of utility and the lack of health on players like DGT can be a problem. But the flash doing very little, was designated towards the market, doesn't land in there. Instead, Big Guzera with 9 bullets in his magazine, and I have to try and pick off one of these oncoming CTs.
He gets the info. Oh, going for the reface each and every time, though. It's 9Z hitting the shots. Response back, good onto Snow. An equalizing round found. Already we're seeing signs of this one potentially being a little bit scrappy. Some swing rounds, some explosive CS here and there. The scout paying off, and the investment works. Going to that, what, a few 5-7s, 1 scout. Hit their shots, pick up the pieces. Now you get a better buy going into the next and carry over the AKs as well. So round 5, this is going to be lights out. NQZ donning the orb. Yet to get off the starting block in this map, Vince, but overall, he has been absolutely beasting.
Yeah, I believe the stat is that he is the top performing player at the entire RMRs, above K Serato, above many of his players that you'd expect to be up there, the likes of Elige, of course, who's also taking part. NQZ is at the top of the totem pole. So him starting slowly That could be a problem. It could be an issue that paIN have to contend with. Very early days, so of course, Jackie. And he does have the AWP now, which is typically where he does his best work. So we'll see if he can get himself involved in this right now.
Big Uzero are back up, down towards underpass. But it's Martinez that makes the first play. Face out on ramp. Instant connection with the AWP straight back. So an opening duel in the favor of 9Z this time. Boost up in response. Lux looking towards window. Could catch SOCIAIS on the rotate. Nade in his hands. Dead in the murder hole. And an equalizing frag.
Max toying with the idea of trying to push that smoke. Oh, but it's right into the embracing arms of his opposition IGL. Big Azera gobbles up that free kill. But as he comes around the corner, not anticipating the DGT will be boosted up on the box. That should give him an idea of two players potentially being over on the B side. And it may press the button for them to get hot and heavy on A. Already trying to force them back with the utility of the Molotov. 30 seconds left. Well-placed flashbang keeps the Spanish AWPer at bay. And allows him to get that post plant in. NQZ took his hand off the mouse for a second there, but still nailed the shot anyway.
He scratched his nose, but I guess his spider senses were tingling. Fast flick on the response back up. I was thinking the same thing. I wondered if it was going to throw him off. Didn't bother him, mate. We said he can be incredibly lethal. And that's just his first. Let's see what more he can do over the course of this BO3 we've got ahead of us. For Martinez and DGT, there really isn't much to be done in this round. It's just about saving the two weapons they've got, dragging that into the next. And Lux having a bit of a look in, seeing if maybe they're going to overstep the mark. Post-bomb blast, try and harass somewhat. If he could get the AWP out of their hands, it'd be pretty costly for them. Spam into the smoke, a lot of tags, but no conversion.
Yeah, you could see what he was going for. The idea of knowing that the AWP was in CT, throws a smoke down, really isolating and hoping to spray through there to deal the deathly damage. May have ended being a bit of a security blanket for them though overall. Not that it really matters a great deal. 3-2 the score now for paIN. They will have to traverse past that AWP, past the rifle that was also saved in. Yeah, when you look at the stats, I mean, 5 consecutive losses on Mirage for 9Z, losses to Cloud9, ENTS, VP, Vitality, Falcons. Fair enough, a lot of those teams are up there, but when you look at some of the scores as well, though, Jackie, they lost 13-1 to Falcons, 13-3 to Vitality, and 13-2 to VP on Mirage.
Yeah, it's an interesting stat to build off of. Throws a bit of spice into the veto of how this one's potentially going to play out. For 9Z, it's felt like there's been a lot of pressure on them over the course of this RMR. Potentially some of that put on themselves. But they give as good as they get at these events. So here in the 6th, let's see what they've got in store. SOCIAIS back at the bomb site. Incendiary thrown out to buy a bit of time. Flash over the top as well. But paIN, they're going swift with this one. Straight in, taking space.
Max Molly and smoked out of position, and Lux illuminating the scoreboard with the opening pick. Max never stood a chance. NQZ puts his AWP to use for the 2nd consecutive round. And already, 9Z, not really any hope in this round. That may have just given them a little bit of a lifeline. Lux found and fragged. There is a gateway back in, but they also have to deal with middle. Martinez had the right idea, but the timing's slightly off. It looks as though a save is going to be coming to the forefront, but Big Azera's position may go unchecked, unnoticed. He may be the snake in the grass that's going to pivot in and sink his fangs into the remainder of 9Z, not allowing them to save these weapons. They desperately need to hold on to them, otherwise this half is going to get out of control. I don't know if this time though, Jackie, I don't think he can get up close enough.
Yeah, too far gone on this one. Tried to trail him as best he could. Had the read on where he repositioned off to for the save, but it is what it is. That one exchanges hands. They keep the 3 weapons alive, and that's going to be a big boon, right? Like you say, it was very important they keep those guns in play. Actually have some good firepower to roll with and keep things in contention here going back into the 7th rather than having to make a lot of concessions and be on the weakened foot. It's DGT standing head and shoulders above the rest. 7-2. Good performance so far over the course of Mirage. Meanwhile for paIN, a relatively even split. Buddha, he's the man that we know can do some star plays. Tries to go in and shine bright down in underpass, take a bit of map control off them, and DGT, if he feeds the hot hand here and finds the frag on Cowes, it would be a good opener. Instead, he goes down. Damage done back onto Buddha. You can't fight this one. One man down, he's got to retreat.
And he has been the man with the hot hands. Cooled off for the time being. Bigizera finishing off a weakened Buddha, who has been one of their best performing players over the duration of their opening matchups in this tournament for 9Z. Martinez with the AWP has struggled from time to time. This would be asking a huge amount. He at least has the X Factor, the power play weapon, in the right position as it stands. And they have the intel from Quasarpeak, who's moving around the back. So they know that A side is bereft of any Ts. They know that B side is likely to be pushed on, and Lux, who was weakened, has now been fragged. Weapon doesn't trade hands, though, to Quasarpeak. Didn't want to get too overzealous on that one. But it is going to give paIN Gaming second thoughts about this B hit, and now they make a move over back onto A.
No weapon recovered for him either, so it is just the USP tucked into Sandwich. Oh, NQZ dives over the top. Luckily, Big Guzera ready for the response. It flicks off the crosshair with the player down in Sandwich, and Big Guzera starting to come alive as well. Follow-up frag's good. That's a free K for him in the round. This is what we wanted to see, right? Big Guzera. A little bit quieter this time around at the RMRs, but realistically, it's been his teammates that are doing far more for him. But if he starts to lead by example as well, Vince, that's the dream scenario for paIN.
And it's terrifying for anyone they go up against, because Bigizera, we touched on this yesterday when we casted them, about him being like the big hitter, the crazy shock and surprise for a lot of people at the Copenhagen RMRs, how well he was performing, all of the transfer kind of gossip and ideas of, oh, he should go to Fury, or he should go to an EU team. He can speak fluent English, put him on any team in the world. This tournament, he's been bottom fragging, bottom stats in terms of his teammates. They've all been stepping up so much that he's not been needed as often. But you always know he has that extra gear within him. And we're starting to see it here. A brisk 4K shutting down the round. And this paIN team, if they're all firing on all cylinders, they are absolutely horrendous to play up against. Like, there are no weak links on this squad.
No, it feels like they really can thrive. But in reality, this is paIN looking to take Snow to his first major as well. Be a hell of a feat for him. Born in 2007, first major in 2024. Print that one out. That's a hell of a certificate, Vince.
9Z may be down, but they're certainly not out just yet. They can still retrieve and recover this half. They'll have to start, you feel like, pretty much right here, right now. Round loss bonus accruing, affording them a full luxury of rifles. No AWP, not required. NQZ, bested by Max through the smoke, allows them to alleviate that pressure and back out of middle. They don't need to overextend anymore. They've got the hit they were looking for.
Big Guzera on the boost up. Bide his time. Build off the back of it. Awful lot of space and pressure put on. So 9Z already scratching their heads. Situation is that Buddha can take a peek out towards Palace at least, with a bit of backup towards the B site. Max up close and personal here on Connector. He's trying to peer over the smoke, sees his opportunity, tries to strike. Good damage. Two players being chipped down to sub 50. Oh, and the nade called in from Martinez. Heads up decision making. He'll even find a further frag. Assist, and Max goes back in. It's all starting to fall to pieces. Snow's the only one left. We know he can do ridiculous things. Let's see if this is going to be one of those rounds. Molly down on jungle. Spam shot from the back line. Finish him off. They finally get themselves back on the board.
Oh, we saw yesterday just how ridiculous he can play with aces, 20+ kills, and like 5 deaths, I think it was. Completely annihilated with his performance yesterday up against Imperial. But yeah, some really good calling from Max. You see he's in the thick of the action there, calling for the grenades, for the artillery barrage. And although they've slowed paIN down, the economy was still good enough, as will be the next round, to be fair, regardless of what happens here, for consistent buys. So 9Z, they're not out of the woods just yet. Max getting aggressive through on con. This time, though, it's Martinez that gets peppered down to 17. He needs to tread lightly as he backs away. DGT through the smoke, nearly bags himself a frag. So decent damage exchange between the two teams.
Knows he got the initial chip off and looking to just try and smash the man out the server. Lux staying alive with 28 HP on the tuck-in. Window smoke and a bloom. Max responds, taking control again towards connector. Exchange of smokes to make it a bit more uncomfortable. And Big Guzera, a bit paranoid about it. Seeing if he can sliver his way back up towards short, assist the rest of the boys that are going to be running their way out into the bomb site through B. Break the smoke, a little bit of chip damage back onto him. First contact from DGT is good for the opener. That's Big Guzera. The side swipe from short has been shut down as he doubles up for 2, but only has 13 HP left.
Has been burnt. Oh, NQZ's not missing that shot. Slow peek into his crosshair. You're a dead man. Head removed. HE. It's on the right place, but the wrong time. Not able to deny the plant, and therefore no reason for NQZ to make a move. He's got a sniper's nest built in. He's feeling comfortable, cozy up there right now, and he's got Koaz to watch his back. Huazo Peak, with no smoke or Molotov to force away one of these positions, is going to have to use the element of surprise. But as he walks around this corner, Koaz, even if he got killed, has NQZ providing the overwatch, not required, as paIN dial in his 6th. So 9Z get a little bit of success, but then immediately get slapped back down to size.
DGT looked like he was on for another one of those star rounds as well. Finding impact there, but no conversion on it. Took down both of the short players. Left with only 13 HP. Snow's Molotov, the instant tick was enough to take him out of the server and flip things around. And money's completely decimated as well. Deagle 5-7, 3 USPs surrounding that. No nades in the pockets to try and line things. Ooh, Lux with a miss. Dink back onto it. But NQZ, he'll take these all day.
Interesting as well that Lux was AWPing, but I assume that's based off spawn for the middle peak. NQZ, though, showing he can get it done with the rifles alongside the big green. And now DGT with his 5-7, hoping and praying for a kill, but that's pretty much all he can get out of this. It'll be a consolation prize at best, as he's about to get wide swung into from potentially multiple players. He may be able to deny the bomb plant, as there was no smoke, but Snow, he was spinning around, he was looking, and he found the Predator hiding it in the grass and just burnt it all down.
Energy's looking good for him as well. Cheering, the fists are being thrown up in the air. That's the sort of vibe you want to see. Oh, he just caught the glimpse as well with the bomb.
I did just check the stats as well, by the way, and how Snow performed yesterday. 21 kills, 1.84 rating with 103 ADR. That is how dominant the young man was. NQZ has fallen to the hands of Martinez, though, so maybe a player like Snow is going to have to pick up the slack.
Yeah, the AWPing head-to-head going against them this time. Max, inside a connector. The IGL ships in the night. But it'll be 9Z to pick up the pieces on that one. Max is able to find Big Guzera. Response back. Set the ramp ablaze. Put even more pressure on the round. Try and burn extra time off the clock before paIN Gaming takes space. 2-1 split. It's Lux that's round towards connector side, just underneath window. Ton of nades still to play with. Snow throws out the first. That's the smoke up, blocking off connector, allows the peek down. Max spots it, Buddha didn't quite have the timing for the shot towards the back though.
Too many angles to deal with, and Quas is sure he was still up on the balcony. Great flick down though, transitioning on that transfer spray, double tap to the head of Buddha. Suddenly this round becomes doable. Koaz with the bomb as well can traverse back over, but with only 30 seconds left, he's going to have to pretty much just hold W the whole way through. Roll the dice. He's already done far better than anyone could have expected from him. But with 31 HP, 1 bullet, and he's pretty much done. And both of 9Z are making moves over. Max is already there. He's hearing the footsteps. That'll be relayed information. And Koaz is going to die as soon as his feet hit the ground. Really solid effort, though. That's going to give 9Z a bit of pause for thought, because that went nearly too far gone.
Yeah, as soon as he got the shot off onto the stairs player, was thinking he was going to get swung on with a nade in his hand, but instead it was just the instant 2-tap straight to the face. Felt like he was feeling it. You could see a bit of exasperation on his face though in the rotate. Realized how uncomfortable it was, right? 1v2, so tight on time, didn't really have many options to work with. Tried his best. Another lifeline going the way of the CTs. Max out early with a pre-fire through the smoke. Nearly catches him on contact, but no damage there. Response back is a couple of HEs coming his way.
Multiple underpass pushing players from Bigazera and Snow. Additionally, have Coaz just behind them that's watching for that BAPS push. With the smoked out window now fading, they need to be very cognizant of being peeked from above, so they're going to replenish that one. Buddha was anticipating maybe a boosted up window play, which is now going to be coming through into the smoke. Bigazera thrives in this kind of chaos. On the receiving end of Max in that previous round, going to try and make amends. And speaking of Max, taking stray bullets through the smoke, tagged down to 68. But Bigazera, he's on the flank. Oh, he's going to have a backstab potentially onto Martinez. And as he's the only CT on this side of the map, that effectively would be a post plant following suit. It's only a matter of time before Bigazera spots him, and the headshot comes through.
Threads the needle on the rotation and injects his venom with a backstab. Martinez laid to waste. Buddha looking to clap straight back. Max actually finds the pickup onto Lux as well, equalizing the situation, so it's a 4v4. The pressure's on. Clock is the additional man on the server for the T side. That's going to force the hand somewhat of the CTs here. 2 kits in play, so they've got them to work with, but they're losing numbers on the face. They know of NQZ's location now, all the way back towards bench. It's a rough fight. Buddha comes in, time ticking away, forcing the issue, trying to sprint on up, see if they can still save this one, but one by one they connect all the pieces. Snow with a final killing blow, and 4 rounds of advantage goes the way of paIN at the half.
Yeah, Bigazera is really delivering, not just with his fragging, but his calling. His reads have been on point. Single-handedly, effectively winning that round from a perfectly timed flank. 8-4 the score. We go back to that point we were raising before as well, though, Jackie, in terms of everyone is pulling their weight right now. Everyone's had those entries, those moments. Coaz with that 3K. Oh, yeah. Snow's had a bunch as well of impact. And surprisingly, Luxus have been a little bit on the slower side in terms of the fragging. Normally he's up there with NQZ. Normally he's one of those guys you're looking at to really be doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So, I mean, there's just so many threats that you have to contend with this squad.
A lot of firepower. They were showing the big guns. Pistol round, though. It could be the great equalizer in a matchup like this. So 9Z, all-important round, really. Find this one to try and reset the mental a little bit, put yourself into a better position. Avoid the likelihood of this one being another stat against them on Mirage. Make it a way to break that wall down, put yourself into a great position in the best of 3. That's what you've got to be thinking about here. Utility to work with, 2 smokes, flashbangs surrounding that as well. Set up with the utility towards the A site. Meanwhile, bombs on the back of Martinez over towards B.
Yeah, this feels more like a fake than anything else. He's got the 2 smokes as well. Of course, trying to bait out the 2 players on this execute. Just going to keep them interested. Coaz trying to get up close in that smoke with the Julies. There's still 3 players here. They haven't budged an inch. It's really awkward, though. How have nobody gone down for the T's? Finally, Lux is going to put an end to that one. Flash is good, but NQZ gets nailed afterwards by Buddha. Lux now can turn his attention up onto the balcony side. Delivers the death blow to DGT in a weakened Buddha. Finalized by his hands, too. It's looking like this round, although it was in the palm of the hands for a few moments, of 9Z has slipped away. And Max with it all to do by his lonesome. 3 separate angles. Surely no hope at clutching this.
They've just got to not give him the fight. You got the room to trade off one another, but Max, he's trying to play it out as best he can. 40 seconds, the time isn't an issue. Dives off, they hear the footstep. Extension from Cowes with the Julies, looking to try and put some punish into him. Meanwhile, Max goes for the swing. Glock's good for 1. First connects, but there's the backstab. Julie starts to sting. And another round goes the way of paIN, the pistol round. It would have been a stepping stone, an open door for 9Z. Instead, It's paIN looking in a really powerful position in this opening map.
I think the heart was in the mouth of Lux that was rattling off all those shots but not getting any kills for a good few seconds. They even had a crossfire and it's like they just wouldn't die. Eventually, the back gave out. Too heavy was the load in that round. And as you mentioned, like, it was a potential just trace, a small gap in the door that's now been slammed in their face and locked. It's looking like a 10-4, just the Deagle, unless they can return the favor. I mean, this is effectively where paIN Gaming struck early on in that first half, but lining up for Lux is never a great idea. And he puts two of them down where they stand. Could be a post plant, though. That would be a nice little bonus on top. They didn't fully invest into this round. So, mission accomplished, realistically. You got a kill, you got a bomb plant. You can come back in now with some AKs.
Hey, you'll take that one. Better outcome than it looked like it was going to be. And put up. Even in these rounds, it feels like he's finding his pick. He's getting his man whenever he's given a chance. It's just being able to build off the back of that. Not really putting them into sustainable positions. Of course, that's off the back of the pistol. Forget about those rounds. Dial in with what we're working with here. Round 15. AK's back out. They're on parade. 5 of them on the server. Full utility as well. paIN 3 rounds away from the first map being claimed as theirs. This is where you've really got to step up.
One player that has really impressed me over this tournament as well that we haven't touched on that much is Coaz. Typically more of a supportive element for paIN. Consistent, solid results from his hand. 91 ADR coming into this round, but Buddha has eviscerated Lux as he looks for information and hops up. Hits the ground a dead man. That's much more like it from the young gun of 9Z. They need these kind of performances, but he's been doused. He's been suppressed down from NQZ. You can't double up. There is a way still forward for 9Z.
To put him into a good position. 4 versus 3, tons of damage done onto Snow from the spam, and Big Guzera down to 34 as well. And look at what it's done to their mental in terms of the rotations. Dabbling with where exactly this sight hit's going to come. And it arrives at B. Max, Merc Snow on contact. And you've got the cutthroat maneuver ready as well. They go out through connector, it'd be an instant connection. You could catch them sleeping. Instead, they know it's time to just back away on this one. Tuck tail for a little while. Give up the round. You can concede a 5th as long as you keep the weapons alive.
And Martinez with the quick little fake plant to draw out any pesky CTs hiding around the corner. Now been cleared off. And paIN will look to try and watch each other's back to hold on to these 2 rifles. With the 2 weapons saved, they can go straight back in front of the buy. NQZ even potentially coming through with an AWP. We'll see what they want to prioritize into that next one. But the good news for 9Z is they're at least putting up a bit of a fight on this T-half. Buddha with that crisp, clean entry. It feels like, though, that they're going to need to call on him a lot more on this half if they want to start to get close. He is one of the players that you look at in terms of his talent, his skill. He's been up there at the top of the scoreboard for 9Z for the duration of this tournament. Oh, they can't afford the AWP. They're just shy of it.
Could bite Martinez in the bottom somewhat. He had some nice picks. He was able to shut down a couple of the faces from NQZ when he went aggressive, looking for the first frag towards the B bomb site on T-half. Thankfully, there won't be a scope on the other side either, though. So it's all rifles all round. Big Guzera up. The rest of the boys on paIN in a pretty good spot right now. But 9Z, is this the start, potentially, of a way back in for them? Boost up. Bit of an aggressive play to try and counter what Buddha's been up to towards B. Also, Pete gets the read in it. Initial spam. Paranoid about a reface down towards underpass. They're paying off one another, but Buddha's straight in. This man's keeping you guessing where the plays are going to come from. Takes it out on A this time, but he goes down. Big Guzera with the first pickup.
I wonder if there's a bit of a lack of communication there, because it felt as though the way that Buddha was entering, he needed DGT to be closer to have his angles covered, and it just didn't happen. So effectively just dangled himself on the end of a fishing rod. And paIN, they're not going to take a nibble. They're going to just devour him whole. However, In doing so, they're exposed out a middle, and they have been put down where they stand. A 2-for-1 trade in favor of 9Z, taking control over middle. Now, they may not know that B-site is a little bit on the weaker side, but they have the advantage here, hence Koaz pushing. He wants that information, see if he can maybe get the backstab. Post up and allow his teammates to rotate. But NQZ's not moving from the boxes. Oh no, are 9Z really about to walk into the stack site? They had the right read. They could be walking into NQZ. This round could still be the way of pain.
It's the time as well. It's putting the pressure on them. 23 seconds ticking away. Audio cues being passed over, steps through the coals. You got to commit to that plant. Cowes. Oh, they bait him in. First tap's good. Bomb fishing. Reels in a big one as they get that pickup. It makes a world of difference. If he was able to find the clap back, puts themselves into an even situation to try and make a play on this. Instead, that retake, it's starting to fade into obscurity.
Yeah, I think that dream faded the second that they got the kill onto Koaz. It will be the save, but they're walking into Max's layer. He's been waiting, anticipating, but he's low HP and doesn't get the insta headshot, so he will be punished by Lux. So it's looking good for 2 save weapons again. And I think you spot on there, Jackie. If Koaz gets the first pick, that is very much looking like pain's round. Considering that Max was low on the periphery of the map, he was in no position to join the crossfire. There was definitely a way forward for pain. It looked like N9Z had just like mega-brained themselves almost into this trap, but they got the entry and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I feel like you turtled up a little bit. But they survived the test in the end. Heads up call as well, obviously. Tap the bomb, see if they do go in for the info play. Hook, line, and sinker. Looking a bit closer, though. It's good to see. A resurgence on the T side. It could be a breath of fresh air. Get into the groove of the game a little bit. Set the tempo. Hit some shots with the AK. Wake yourselves back up. Opportunity to talk here, discuss things. See what you've got going forward.
Yeah, it's good to see that they haven't just been bulldozed, because that was my concern, that how the game started.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh no, here we go. Like 9Z, they've been in a bit of a free fall. We discussed this before coming into the tournament. They've been on a hefty loss streak, a lot of red in their columns. And pain are a different beast, a different animal. Very much a momentum-based team. So it's good to see them standing and fighting here, but they still need to bypass these 2 rifles. pain have won with a lot less than this already on this very map. And Big Azera had a deagle that time, and he's got one again here. However, they're bypassing A. 2 players already going out onto B site. Neither of them have the bomb, though. And they have also committed to this A play. They've already pushed up close onto Tetris area. But they're finding out all this intel. Do they have the ability to pull the plug and get out of ramp all the way over onto B site? Martinez could maybe scamper away, but they've got so much forward real estate here that they may just go for the flank around the back from courtesy of Buddy's position. He's already got one. What a strange round this has been.
You've been able to conceal the bomb at least for long enough that that one pick has actually reeled them back to where they wanted them. And Max going in with the AK, spamming off the warning shots. Keep this one clean. Don't give them a chance back in. That's what they're thinking. Finding the frags should be enough to secure it. NQZ and Lux have to save it. But yeah, it looked like it was shaping up to be a very bumpy round. Like you say, you're already so far out. You've committed to it. You can't really just bail back at that point. You would have been caught on the exit. Thankfully, on the wrap back around, the push worked. And with the bomb now going down and things shaping up like they're going to get themselves a 7th, the game gets a whole lot more closer. This is the kind of region where you do believe in yourself a lot more as well.
Oh, no doubt. You know that pain, yes, they still have that 3-round advantage. In a few moments' time, that is going to be actualized. But momentum is certainly in your favor. The sails are picking up wind. You're getting closer and closer, and pain are now going to start to get a little bit desperate. Nice shot at the end for DGT. It's not going to deny the fact they can get a full-on purchase into this with that round loss bonus, but It does keep one of those AKs out of the hands and forces him to invest most of their savings in. Now, NQZ has his hands on the AWP. That's always going to be a big boon, a big bonus to paIN Gaming's arsenal of weaponry. And 9Z have shown that there are weaknesses that have been exploited on both sides of the map, and mainly in middle too, and they've missed the jump. Bigazera has to back off.
And this is a big Guzera that looks like he is starting to play to his sort of style as well. 13 kills right now. Had good impact in the rounds that they've been able to convert as well. And that's worrying. If Big Guzera is woken up, the sleeping giant's back in the building, you better find a way to put him under. No casualties though. Time still to play with, and nades are there. They wrap back off, gravitating with 4 players towards the A site. The smokes start to go over the top. Flashbang round as well. Send QZ towards the ticket booth. Responds with util of his own. Looking to block towards the ramp. Takes a couple of tags through. Cowes up close and personal with the M4. He wants to make space. Oh, the spray's rough. It gives time for DGT to activate. 2 clean kills with the AK. Bomb site starting to be taken. And DGT, not content with just 2, he'll find a 3rd. And Max shuts down Snow. All on Lux now.
Labored spray for the first is going to cost him dearly in terms of his hit points. 2 bullets. Replenish magazines. As a smoke as well. I mean, he's got the kit. The problem is he's got nothing else to play with in terms of flashes. He's looking for that AWP. And Max will deny. And you spot on. Quaz, it was such a scrappy spray that by the time he got the kill, DGT just walked outside of that smoke with the flashes alongside it. If Quaz gets that snappy, like if you think back to that 3K he got, just tap, 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 just banging players left and right out of the server. That kind of crispness, he could have changed his angle and potentially thwarted DGT, or at least the second player that was pushing Tetris. It's unfortunate, it's nitpicky, but that is the room of error that you get at this caliber of Counter-Strike. And they get punished hard. That Fast League is now down to just 2 rounds.
Yeah, man. That's what makes the reverberations in the round, right? Because you could even see, like, he was mid-turn onto the second player afterwards. But like you say, millisecond of difference, DGT's in position, and just like that, you get to 8. There's a game on our hands here. Mirage, it's been a 5-map loss streak. You could break that, and Buddha, he breaks the face of NQZ. Instant engagement. He's a bit of a mean machine, Vince. I'm liking the way he's switching up his playstyle. Pathing on the entries, right? He's keeping them guessing. You never quite know where he's going to come from, but it feels like he's always ready for the fight.
That entry was his 5th successful opening duel on this map, and most of them have been on the T side. So he is absolutely starting to feel himself in this game and start to reach that level that we know he's capable of, as we've seen quite a few times already at the RMR here. That is a problem that paIN are going to need to solve. And for the time being, their remedy has to be Deagles, MP9s, and a Scout. And they got a good read of this. They got 3 players over on B. There's still more than enough time to wrap around and rotate through the con via underpass. Martinez taking the bomb. Timing here of the essence. If Quaz can just thread that timing, potentially sneak up behind them on ramp, that is a pathway towards success. Smoke down on con may give the game away now for 9Z, and Quaz begins to make moves.
We've seen these rounds with the late hits towards A. Having opportunity for paIN. Is it going to be any different here? Initial shot goes out. Big Guzera testing the waters with the initial tap on towards triple. It's Cowes that wants to make the play, but DGT ready for it just in case. He's got the ramp covered. You go walking into it. It's shut down by the AK. Everyone else will start to fall, and with time ticking away, things looking very awkward for paIN. It's looking like this isn't going to be a possibility. Hold on to what you've got and give it up. So a 9th. Their namesake, Vince. They've made it to 9. How far do they go?
I think the way in which that they have taken to this T side with this sort of brisk effortlessness, I think they can go distance now. I am fully believing in backing 9Z to get the job done. This is their choice of map. Oh, pardon me. No, it's paIN's choice of map. Their choice of map is Dust 2 up next. But it feels like they're really starting to click on this T side. And The other side of the coin, paIN look like they're out of ideas. Like, they're actually really struggling. The trades that were going in their favor early on from, like, Lux and Snow in particular has really died down in these last 5 or 6 rounds. Are just not working in their favor. I'm not surprised to see a tactical timeout being deployed here for Bigazera and paIN. Because there's a lot of issues that they need to contend with right now, and they know that vast lead is now basically for naught. They were setting up for exit frags at the end of that last round. Tons of cash for 9Z. You can see Martinez, he's nearly max money, 14k. They're good to buy for 2 or 3 rounds at least, if not the rest of this map.
Oh yeah. You could be sipping on the rosé, round in, round out, having a good time with it. Initial smokes go up. NQZ with the AWP once again, though. We saw his power back on the T side. What's he got for us here on CT half? Instant engagement with Max being traded out as Snow falls, and NQZ does deliver. That's a big pickup as well. Buddha's been elevating his power level. You silence him here. You've got an edge to work with in the frags. And 9Z, they've got to switch up the pace, rotate back around. Off the back of that frag onto Snow, though, you're still up on short. How so peaks here? Just in case anyone wraps round towards window. He's got it covered on the peak. It's Cowes that's inside a connector. And the Deathly duo for 9Z grouping up, making their way back towards the ramp.
That kill from Snow could be one of the most impactful he'll pick up in this entire map. Shut down the catwalk push. And in doing so, funneled 9Z away. They've typically got the entry frags on this half. Smoke and Molotovs being exchanged with some flashes thrown in for good measure. And 9Z able to capitalize and push to the site. Going to be going for that full-on plant as well out in the open. DGT needs to do it before the smoke is cleared. The grenade comes in, but it's too little too late. It will deny the life of DGT, but not the post-plant. And now Martinez with it all to do. Has to hide in the smoke, but gets caught from below from Coaz. And that'll be their first round in 5. They've broken the curse just in the nick of time. But they can't take their eye off the prize here because 9Z, still with a post plan, still a real threat and danger.
And like you were just highlighting before, right, with the buys, the money's not going to be an issue. It's not as if you lose one of these rounds, suddenly it all starts to crumble down. You're thinking, how do we get back into this? You know what the answer is. Buy straight back up, go into the fight once again. QZ found his 1 frag with the AWP, but it was Cowes again that's been continuing to deliver.
É isso, velho.
11-9 in the score. Super tense. Wasn't quite the same bravado and gusto that we saw from Snow earlier. Seemed a little bit more apprehensive, perhaps. Understandably so. You can't feel fully confident about your CT side just yet with how many T rounds were strung back to back to back that you never really were in with a shot of winning. Coaz using that smoke though alongside Max as they're both going to try and take the forward positions. Max getting into con. We saw him love this spot on CT side and have a lot of success from here. Not this round though. Snow through the smoke will pounce onto him, and that's a perfect flashbang onto periphery of the smoke. Coaz pushes once again. These flashes consistently fully blinding the T's, but Martinez somehow comes out ahead.
Oh, Martinez loses his head on the peak though. Avoided the volleyball HE that was thrown towards him, but his demise will still arrive. And off the back of it, it seems like paIN are going to be able to make their move to 12 here on the first map. Secure the safety net. DGT. It's been so damn good for the course of this whole map. The entries, the 3Ks. But you know this is a round where you just got to stew in what you're left with. No chance in the 21st. Think about the big picture. They brought it back from a far worse scoreline. You could very well still keep this rolling. It's all about the overtime for them, whereas for paIN, you just want to close it.
That's 100% spot on. If you offered them a 12-9 scoreline when they were 10-4, but hold on a second. They're still going to win based off time. But DGT, oh man, he must have terrified paIN for a split second there, thinking, don't peek him, don't peek anymore.
Mate, that's grotesque. DGT. Damn good time. That's what his name stands for, because he's giving it right now. All right, bud. I mean, if you can do that again, then yeah, they can still stay in this game. paIN Gamer might be on match point, but 9Z are fighting like they're on championship point. They're giving it the big one. Contain that energy. Harness it into the next. AWP for Martinez. DGT again delivers. Finds the fourth man that he was looking for in the last round and stays alive with just a sliver of health to assist the team.
paIN are going to try and get aggressive to counteract this. I think that 9Z, they seem like they have a good read of the situation. They just sat back waiting, although Buddha is now making moves into the Palace. They've actually foregone ramp control. This double player stack going in. But will this work against Lux? He's effectively the player in the jungle. May not anticipate that anyone is in Palace at this point. They may assume that the rotation has already came through. Yeah, Lux is trying to watch three angles at once, effectively Palace, Con, and also the window. And although his side is covered from the wall, at some point he may overextend and get picked off by DGT, who cannot miss right now.
Lux being forced back from the utility, but it sends him straight into the crosshair of Max. He'll win on the duel, reset the advantage. Martinez given the peek on short side. Cowes again, finding frags here. And they're setting themselves up for the first map now. It looks like paIN getting closer and closer to that all-important 13th round. It's down to the retake 3v2. Buddha, HE should finish it. The ricochet off the wall's enough. Goodbye, Lux.
Snow and Coaz, the slight HP advantage. They know where one of these players are, but it's the second one they have to be cognizant of and wary of. Kit in the hands of Coaz as the flashbang up and over onto CT boxes. Does connect, but Huazapeak is able to just sit in position, knowing that with two of them, they should be able to find the winning formula. Snow's going to take the initiative, get aggressive, get straight in the face, but although he gets both kills, he's not going to have time. Can't even find the bomb in the smoke. And so 9Z keep this map alive.
No weapon saved to their name either. Cash a little bit disjointed in some places. Man, 9Z fighting on this one. Live and die by the sword. Opting for the tactical pause as well. Their third being used in regulation. They haven't stopped believing ever since the start of the second half. Consistently scrapping into these rounds. Big hero plays, big moments to reinvigorate the team.
It was 10-4 at one point. paIN were on the fast track to a 1-0, and we were almost speaking like, okay, it's done. The way they were playing, Snow was popping off. Big Azera, probably with his best performance so far at this very tournament, was absolutely on fire. And yet here we sit at 12-10, and you nailed it. With DGT with that sick play, like obviously he was never going to win because of time. But it gave them that inspiration. You came back from 10-4. You can come back from 12-9. You can come back from 12-10. No problems at all. Take it to OT. You still got this. It's an eco round for paIN. We likely will go the distance here of the full 24 rounds. Unless...
The calling card of those upset rounds has been the Deagle on Big Guzera. That's been the heirloom. That's been the cheeky boon that's given them something to step up with. But you put all the potential ifs and buts aside, you focus on what they've got. Lux with an M4 Cowes as well. You could still be so lethal. Both of them have been hitting some nice shots in this one, both with 16 frags to their name. Mirror match. And 9Z expects something aggressive as well. They thought paIN wouldn't be playing it like a rifle round. They tried to get in your face, catch you off guard. Run a bit of time on the clock. Throw out the smoke towards mid-window. Wrap back around with a heavy grouping onto the site. They've got smokes and flashes primed for it, up close on the balcony. It's that meaty M4, ready to rip raw through them. Big Guzera sets up his teammate with a double flash in as well, so he can peek towards ramp, but Buddha's ready.
I like both those flashes nailed the oncoming tees, but Buddha too strong. His 6th successive entry frag. Opening duel going in his favor, and 9Z will capitalize. Now again, they're in that very awkward spot where They can buy next round regardless of what happens, but of course they want to hold on to this M4 in the hands of Lux. They got a bit of Kevlar on him. The rest of the players can kind of throw themselves into the lion's den here with those P250s. If they can take a weapon out of this round, and AK would be worth its weight in gold going through to the 24th. But he gets caught. P2000 though, unable to finish him off. And he's got enough time to sprint away from the bomb and survive. The P250 tries to rattle some domes. Damage inflicted, but not enough for the outright kill. But Max will go down with the ship. They saved the M4 they were looking for. They can come through with a solid and hefty buy here. But we have hit round 24, and 9Z on this T-half have only conceded 5 times, and one of those was off the back of the pistol.
And remember, for those of you watching at home, it's for qualification to the Shanghai Major. So much riding on this one. It's the first map of our best of 3. 9Z proving that point with how they're playing. Weapons to work with though, so no broken buy for paIN into potentially the last round of the game. NQZ repositioning round. Up through window, looking for the short face, scoped up. Can he slice his way through them if they give him an opportunity?
It's been a little bit quieter this game, but I think a lot of that has been 9Z doing a really stellar job of kind of silencing him with utility. Smokes and Molotovs have been probably his biggest nemesis in this game. 9Z toying with the idea of taking mid control, but now briskly moving back over onto A. They already have DGT playing as that forward pivot already in the palace. They got plenty of utility for a full-on execute. Could be the final play of this entire map. paIN will certainly be hoping so. With 50 seconds left, 9Z about to pull the trigger.
40 seconds on the clock. HE thrown in. Hefty damage done. Might be enough to make it easier for these M4s to convert the damage. As Gawair's up close, rattles off the shots, even blind, but still finding the first pick. Oh, he's going wild! The damage absolutely decimates them, and it's all down to DGT that's finished by NQZ. 13 to 11 paIN. It looked like it was going to be sad for them, but they bring it back, close it down, deny the OT, and take that one.
Well, there you have it. paIN takes their map pick in this best of 3 that will determine who will be going to the Perfect World Major. But a bit close for comfort there, Maui. I mean, it was 10-4 at one point. They should have been able to close it out, and yet they allowed 9Z a little bit of a run back in that second half.
paIN were clearly playing that second half to not lose as